In the summer of 357 AD, Roman Gaul stood on the edge of collapse. For years, the Roman Empire had been tearing itself apart. Civil war raged across the empire. Roman armies fought Roman armies. Tens of thousands of experienced soldiers died on battlefields far from the frontier. While Rome focused on its own struggles, powerful enemies watched from beyond the Rhine. Among them were the Alamanni. The Alamanni were a loose confederation of Germanic tribes spread across southwestern Germany. Fierce warriors and skilled raiders, they had taken advantage of Rome's weakness. Crossing the Rhine again and again, they burned towns, destroyed fortresses, and carried countless Roman civilians into slavery. The frontier that had protected Gaul for generations was crumbling. Roman forts stood abandoned, their gates broken along the Rhine frontier. To many Romans, it seemed only a matter of time before eastern Gaul was lost. Then, Rome sent an unlikely commander. His name was Julian. He was only 23 years old. Unlike most Roman generals, Julian had spent much of his life studying philosophy, history, and literature. He was known as a scholar, not a warrior. Many members of the imperial court believed he had been given an impossible mission. Some even expected him to fail. Instead, he surprised everyone. When Julian arrived in Gaul in 355 AD, he found a province in chaos. Important cities had fallen into enemy hands, fortifications lay in ruins. Alamanni raiders moved freely through the countryside, plundering villages and threatening major roads. The situation looked hopeless, but Julian refused to accept defeat. He moved quickly and aggressively. He defeated several raiding bands, rebuilt damaged defenses, and restored confidence among his soldiers. Step by step, he began pushing the invaders back toward the Rhine. The young philosopher was becoming a commander. Over the next 2 years, Julian's reputation grew with every success. His soldiers trusted him. His enemies began to fear him. But the greatest challenge still lay ahead. Watching from across the Rhine was the most powerful Alamanni leader of his age, King Chnodomar. The Romans nicknamed him the Giant. He was famous for his immense size, strength, and commanding presence. Wearing a gleaming helmet and richly decorated armor, he looked every bit the warrior king. More importantly, he was ambitious, intelligent, and determined to keep control of the lands the Alamanni had seized. Chnodomar had watched Julian's victories with growing concern. Yet he also saw an opportunity. A separate Roman force under the general Barbatio had recently withdrawn from the region after a failed campaign. To Chnodomar, the retreat looked like proof that Roman power was weakening once again. Then even better news arrived. A deserter informed him that Julian commanded only about 13,000 men. The Alamanni king made his decision. He would crush Julian before more Roman troops could arrive. Messengers rode across Alamannic territory, carrying calls for war. Warriors gathered from distant settlements. Tribal kings answered the summons. Allies joined the growing host. Soon, a massive army assembled near the city of Strasbourg. Roman sources claimed that as many as 35,000 warriors answered Julian's call. Modern historians debate the exact number, but most agree on one thing. The Alamanni probably outnumbered Julian's army. For Chnodomar, this was the moment he had been waiting for. One decisive victory could secure Alamanni control over much of Gaul. Meanwhile, Julian faced a difficult choice. He could avoid battle and wait for reinforcements, or he could fight immediately. Waiting was safer, but it carried risks. Reinforcements might never come. The Alamanni could spread across Gaul once again, burning farms and carrying off civilians. His soldiers, confident after years of success, were eager for battle. After weighing the risks, Julian reached his decision. He would fight. On a hot summer day, the Roman army marched towards Strasbourg. Dust rose from the column as thousands of soldiers advanced along the old Roman roads. The sun beat down on helmets and shields. Despite the long march, morale remained high. Ahead, Alamanni scouts spotted the approaching army. The warning quickly reached Chnodomar. The Alamanni king moved his warriors onto open ground near Strasbourg. Golden wheat fields stretched across the landscape. Gentle slopes overlooked the battlefield. Somewhere beyond the horizon flowed the Rhine River. Soon, the two armies could see each other. The contrast was striking.
The Roman army was smaller, but highly disciplined. These were professional soldiers trained to fight as a single machine. Many belonged to elite units with years of battlefield experience. Their shields formed ordered lines. Across the field stood the Alamanni. Many wore little armor. Some carried only shields and spears. Yet their numbers were impressive. Thousands of warriors filled the landscape. Their war cries echoed across the fields. Both sides understood what was at stake. A Roman defeat could shatter the empire's position in Gaul.